It's a question that many in the farming community are trying to answer, or at least address. What needs to happen to get more young people involved in farming? One program run through the Farm Bureau looks to tackle that issue head on. Joining us on the PNW Ag Network hotline is Roy Hofer, chair of Oregon's Young Farmers and Ranchers program. And Roy, thanks so much for the time. Now, for those not familiar with YF&R, what is it? What's the program all about?
Yeah, so the Young Farmers and Ranchers program is a subcommittee of the Oregon Farm Bureau or National Farm Bureau Federation, and there's chapters or organizations all in all 50 states. So it's a group of young farmers ages 16 to 35, and we get together, have meetings, do events, do activities, throughout the state, and we have a national meeting. We go to a leadership conference every year, and it's a lot about networking, personal growth, learning about agriculture, advocating for agriculture, just getting out there and sharing our story as best we can.
Roy, why did you get involved with Young Farmers and Ranchers?
I was just looking to get out more, get off the farm, meet with like-minded people, learn what other folks are doing, just make new friends, get involved politically down in Salem, where we're at. We're in Oregon here. Farmers have a lot of challenges these days, and I wanted to, do my best to help out and make sure that we keep agriculture viable for the future.
You were talking about advocacy for young farmers out there. Can you give us kind of a taste of some of the efforts, whether those are classes or seminars or workshops that take place to not only encourage young people to speak up for agriculture, but kind of how to speak up for agriculture?
Yeah, we do, all kinds of different things that, of course, when we go to the national level, like this last year we were in Omaha. They have really great classes and courses, how to host a political figure to your farm or property and, explain to them what you're doing and why you're doing it and what challenges you face. More locally, we just get together with, different groups of folks. Like we had a meeting with Lewis and Clark College, had some of their natural resource students come out and kind of explain to them about, agriculture in Oregon. And a lot of them have never been really outside of the city. And it was a real eye-opener for them. And I think it was helpful that we also reciprocate and teach other people and not just learn for ourselves.
Roy, can you talk to us about that? Because I'm always impressed by young people and anybody in agriculture for that matter who can go and talk to political leaders, students, or anybody who might have no familiarity with agriculture. It's become more and more prevalent that the average American is so far removed from agriculture. So what sort of unique challenges does that present to try to tell your story to somebody who might know very little about it?
For those that don't know much about it, yeah, it's a challenge, and we do our best to, start with basics, but also, let them learn and ask questions of us, so we're not trying to, make anybody feel left out. When I'm talking to a lot of political folks that aren't familiar with it, they like to hear a lot from young people because they hear a lot of the older generation of farmers, and there's not, there's less younger folks politically involved, and as soon as they see a young farmer, they definitely stop and want to come over and shake your hand and talk to you and learn just a little bit more about your operation and what you're doing and, how those things affect you.
Roy, you've talked quite a bit about politics. There's a lot of politics. There are a lot of issues out there impacting agriculture. In your assessment, what are some of the top either political issues or perhaps even non-political issues that the Oregon farming community is facing, whether it's from Salem, whether it's from D.C., or perhaps somewhere else?
Well, land use and labor are kind of the big issues right now. Water, definitely throw that one in there too. But there's pressure from all sides, whether it's, cap and trade, using diesel fuel or, pesticides being banned or, getting less available to us that we need to do our jobs. There's a whole variety of issues out there, but those are probably the main ones that are, we're working on.
Roy, a lot of times I think farmers in Oregon and Washington, for that matter, feel like, well, there's really no point in speaking up because decisions are going to be made by a population base that is in one concentrated area. And again, they're not very connected with farming. What would you say to Oregon farmers, whether they're young or maybe just young at heart, about the importance of advocating and speaking up, even if you're in a state that maybe doesn't feel the most friendly to farmers?
Correct. This is kind of the take I have on this. We're not going to be able to change them full circle, but if we can get 5, 10, 15% change, if everybody can work towards that, we can chip away at it little by little. And maybe we just get one more vote or one more person that kind of has, hey, I want to look at this a little differently. That's what we need to do. And we need to keep doing it and stay involved and just keep hammering at them.
Roy, let's talk a little more about young farmers and ranchers. When we're talking young, what age group are you looking at, and what kind of numbers are currently involved?
So we're looking at 16 to 35. So we do kind of, touch right as people are getting out of high school, probably an FFA, and up through age 35. And we're looking for anybody and everybody that wants to get involved with us. Right now, our group has about 20 or so folks in it. I know there's a lot more people out there in Oregon that could get involved, but it's just making that time commitment to come to some meetings. We have a lot of Zooms, so it's not necessarily we need you to drive clear across the state to get involved, but we're just looking for more people. I know OAN is doing a really nice program right now with their Next Gen. That's the Oregon Association of Nurseries. Put a plug in for them for sure. They're doing a nice job with a young group as well, and we've commingled some meetings together, and I think that's working really well for us right now too.
Roy, talk to us about that time commitment, because any organization, any church group, whatever you're doing, it's going to take part of your time, and farmers don't always have a lot of extra time to spare. So what sort of commitment would I be looking at, whether on a monthly or an annually basis, if I wanted to join Young Farmers and Ranchers?
We're not looking for folks to make every single meeting, but we're looking for you to be involved throughout the year. We have different activities besides just our business meetings. We can have you Zoom in. It's every other month that we typically have a kind of a business meeting, and then we sprinkle in throughout the year, whether it's a social event or a farm tour, some kind of a learning activity, maybe going down to Salem to do some lobbying. You can kind of pick and choose what's your fancy, but we would like you to attend, something at least every other month if you can make it. And we totally understand that folks have busy seasons and slow seasons, so if you can kind of fit that in to your schedule, that's kind of the best for us.
Roy, before I let you go, if you were to have an elevator pitch, as it's known, to a young person out there who's hearing about this and they're like, well, I'm kind of on the fence, I'm really not sure if I want to join Young Farmers and Ranchers, what would you tell them? What would you advise them as far as why they should join?
Well, you'd be more than welcome to come to one of our meetings. I'm sure that you'll have my contact info here at the end of the session. And just come talk to me. I'll let you know how you can get involved and how you'll get to go on some trips and just meet new people, learn about different farming aspects. And right now, I've made friends clear across the country in the past 4 years that I've been involved with YF&R, and I talk to those folks, and they share with me what they're doing as well. So it's just a great networking opportunity and just a way to be involved, and you can pick and choose how involved you want to be. So I think it would be a good fit for just about anybody.
Once again, Roy Hofer, chair of Oregon's Young Farmers and Ranchers program. Thanks so much for joining us right here on the PNW Ag Network.